Commander Taz stood rigid on the bridge of the Imperial vessel *, steadfast glory *, his eyes fixed on the holographic display. The small ship that had appeared at the edge of Sector 7 shouldn't have concerned him. It was tiny compared to the might of the Galactic Hegemony's fleet. "Status report," he demanded. Lieutenant Han looked up from her console, confusion evident in her expression. "Sir, the vessel is... it's gone." "Impossible. Check your equipment." "All systems functioning normally, sir." The ship simply vanished. Tay's mandibles clicked in agitation. The hegemony had encountered hundreds of species during its expansion, but none had possessed technology capable of evading their tracking systems. "Sir," Han called out. "It's reappeared, 3 sectors away." "That's not possible. It would require speeds we've never recorded." Admiral Kim would need to hear about this immediately. The Empire had classified Earth as a pre-FTL civilization not worth immediate conquest. This evidence suggested they had grievously miscalculated. "Send word to command," Tay ordered. "Tell them we've encountered something unprecedented." The message traveled faster than light to Imperial Command. Todd paced the bridge while waiting for orders. His forelegs moved in perfect rhythm, betraying none of his inner turmoil. The Empire had ruled the stars for 10,000 cycles. They had conquered species with technology far beyond what humans should possess. "Sir, we have new orders," Han announced. "We are to track the vessel but not engage. Admiral Kim is coming personally with the 7th Fleet." Tay's inner eyelids blinked in surprise. The 7th Fleet was the pride of the Empire, with ships that could destroy entire moons. To dispatch such force for a single human vessel seemed excessive. "The human ship is moving again," reported Officer Sol from the tracking station. It's heading directly toward us." "Defensive positions," Tay ordered. "Weapons on standby only." The human vessel appeared on their view screen, small and oddly shaped. It had none of the expected design elements of a warship. No visible weapons ports. No armor plating. It resembled a silver teardrop with strange blue lights pulsing along its hull. "They're hailing us," Han said. "Put them through." The screen shifted to show the interior of the human vessel. Ta had studied humans before, but seeing one live still surprised him. The creature had only 2 eyes, no mandibles, and skin that looked soft and vulnerable. "Greetings, Imperial vessel," the human said. "I am Captain Joe of Earth Scout Ship * Curiosity *. We come in peace." Ta stood taller. "This is Commander Ta of the Galactic Hegemony. You have entered Imperial space without permission. Explain your presence and your technology." Captain Joe smiled, showing flat teeth. "We're explorers, Commander. We detected your civilization some time ago and decided it was time to introduce ourselves. Your vessel uses technology beyond what our records indicate your species possesses. Perhaps your records need updating," Joe replied. The human made a strange gesture with its 5-fingered hand. "We've been watching your empire expand for decades. We wanted to understand what kind of neighbors we have." Officer Sol's voice cut in urgently. "Sir, we're detecting energy buildup in the human ship. It's unlike anything in our database." Tay's mandibles clicked rapidly. "Are they preparing to attack?" "Unknown, sir. The energy signature doesn't match any weapon we know." On the screen, Captain Joe continued speaking calmly. "Don't be alarmed, Commander. We're simply preparing to demonstrate our good faith. Watch." The human ship began to glow with blue light. Then, impossibly, it split into 5 identical vessels, each one pulsing with the same energy. "Scan them," Tide ordered. "Sir," Han's voice trembled. "All 5 ships are real. Solid. They're not projections or illusions." Captain Joe's face appeared on all screens simultaneously. "A small demonstration of what humans can do, Commander. We believe in showing rather than telling." The 5 ships began to move in perfect formation, drawing complex patterns in space that Tay recognized as mathematical equations, universal constants that transcended language. "How is this possible?" Ta whispered. "Sir," Han said quietly, "we should inform command immediately. This changes everything we thought we knew about humans." Ta nodded slowly, his eyes never leaving the dancing ships. "Tell Admiral Kim to hurry." He paused. "And tell him to bring more ships." As the human vessels continued their impossible maneuvers, Ta felt something he hadn't experienced in his 200 cycles of service to the Empire. Fear. The Empire had always been the most advanced power in known space, until now. Admiral Kim reviewed the reports with growing concern. The Sovereign Council had dispatched him with a fleet of 30 warships, enough firepower to subjugate most civilizations without firing a shot. "The humans will recognize our superiority and accept their place," Science Officer Lee assured him. "It is the natural order." The fleet emerged from hyperspace in Earth's solar system, a perfect formation of imperial might. As expected, the humans responded by launching a vessel. Surprisingly, just one. "They send a single ship," Kim laughed. "Begin the demonstration." The Imperial ships executed a precision maneuver, weapon systems powering up in a choreographed display of dominance. But then the human vessel, designated HSS** Defiance**, moved. It didn't just move. It flowed like water around stone, executing turns that defied physics. When the Imperial ships launched their targeting locks, the Defiance* seemed to ripple, becoming momentarily translucent before solidifying elsewhere. "Sir," Lieutenant Jin whispered, "our scanners can't determine how their propulsion works. There's no radiation signature we recognize." "Impossible," Kim muttered. "Their species has only achieved spaceflight within the last century." Jin's voice cracked as the human ship suddenly appeared between their most powerful vessels, completely undetected during its approach. Humans shouldn't have ships like that. As if triggered by those words, communications across the Imperial fleet failed simultaneously. The bridge of the Imperial flagship Sovereign Might fell silent as every screen went dark. Admiral Kim's scales shifted from green to a pale blue, the color of alarm among his species. "Restore communications," he ordered. "All ships, defensive positions." The crew worked frantically at their stations. Science Officer Lee's forehands moved quickly across different control panels. "Sir, something is blocking all signals. It's not jamming as we understand it. It's as if communications simply don't exist anymore." The human ship, the Defiance*, hung in space between the Imperial warships. It was smaller than even their light cruisers, shaped like an arrowhead with strange blue lights pulsing along its hull. It made no aggressive moves. "Weapons status," Kim demanded. "All targeting systems are offline," reported Commander Sung from the weapons station. "We cannot lock onto the human vessel." "Then fire manually." "Sir," Sung hesitated. "The firing mechanisms won't respond. Something is preventing our weapons from activating." Kim slammed his fist on his command chair. In 300 years of service to the Empire, he had never faced such a situation. 30 of the most powerful warships in the galaxy, rendered helpless by a single human vessel. A light appeared on Lieutenant Jin's console. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission." "From the human ship." "Put it through," Kim ordered. The main screen flickered to life, showing a human female in a simple dark uniform. She had short black hair and an expression that seemed almost bored. "Imperial Fleet, this is Captain Yu of the HSS** Defiance*. We have temporarily disabled your communications and weapons systems to prevent any unfortunate accidents during our first formal meeting." Kim rose from his chair, drawing himself to his full height. "This is an act of war," he stated. "Release our systems immediately." Captain Yu smiled slightly. "If we wanted war, Admiral, we could have destroyed your ships before you knew we were here. This is a demonstration, just like yours was meant to be." With a casual gesture, she seemed to command something off-screen. Suddenly, the view changed to an external feed showing the Imperial fleet. Between each Imperial ship now hovered a small device, barely visible against the darkness of space. Each of those devices, Captain Yu explained, could convert your ships into their base atomic components in less than 3 seconds. They were deployed while you were preparing your demonstration. Science Officer Lee's hands trembled as he checked his readouts. Admiral, those devices weren't there before. We detected nothing. The Empire has ruled through fear for too long, Captain Yu continued. Earth has chosen a different path. We will not conquer, but we will not be conquered. The human paused, letting her words sink in. Your communications and weapons will be restored in 1 hour. By then, our diplomatic vessel will arrive. I suggest you prepare to negotiate rather than intimidate. The screen went dark. Admiral Kim sank slowly back into his command chair. Sir, Lieutenant Jin said quietly, what do we do? Kim stared at the view screen where the human ship remained, seemingly ordinary yet impossibly dangerous. We wait, he said finally, and we learn. Outside, the Defiance began to glow with blue light. Then, in a movement that left afterimages on the eyes of all who watched, it split the space around it and vanished. The diplomatic chamber aboard the Imperial flagship felt uncomfortably small to Admiral Kim. Across from him sat the human representative, Captain Park, whose calm demeanor only heightened Kim's unease. Your technology, Kim began carefully, exceeds our understanding of your species' development. Park smiled. We've been aware of galactic civilization for generations. Admiral, we simply chose to develop independently. Impossible. Our records are incomplete. 200 years ago, a ship crashed on our moon. Not one of yours, something older. We reverse-engineered it, but in ways its creators never imagined. Kim's inner eyelids flickered in shock. The Defiance is a mid-tier vessel in our fleet, Park finished. Your empire perfected existing principles. Humans asked different questions entirely. Kim understood then. The hegemony had standardized technological development across 1,000 worlds. Humans, isolated and unconstrained, had explored paths no other civilization had considered. We don't seek conflict, Park continued, but we won't be conquered either. For the first time in his 300-cycle career, Admiral Kim felt genuine fear for the Empire's future. The room fell silent. 5 Imperial guards stood along the walls, their hands never far from their weapons. 2 human security officers flanked Captain Park, standing perfectly still. They carried no visible weapons, which somehow made them more threatening. Show me, Kim said finally. Captain Park raised an eyebrow. Show you what, Admiral? What you found? What you learned? Help me understand. Park considered this request, then nodded. He placed a small cube on the table between them. It was plain metal with no markings. May I? Park asked, gesturing to the cube. Kim nodded, and Park touched the cube with one finger. The air above it shimmered, then filled with light. A 3-dimensional image formed. A ship unlike any Kim had seen before. It had smooth curves where Imperial ships had angles. Strange symbols covered its hull. This crashed on your moon? Kim asked. Yes, it was damaged beyond repair, but its database remained intact. The ship belonged to a species called the predecessors. They'd vanished from the galaxy 50,000 years ago. Kim's scales rippled with surprise. The myth builders. They were real. Very real. And very advanced. Park touched the cube again, and the image changed to show complex equations and diagrams. They understood something fundamental about reality that your empire missed, which is, space and time aren't separate things. They're the same thing, viewed from different angles. Your ships push against space to move through it. Ours slit between the layers of reality itself. Kim leaned forward, fascinated despite his unease. That's how the Defiance moved. Yes, what you saw as disappearing and reappearing was actually the ship moving through dimensional space rather than physical space. Park touched the cube again. The image changed to show a human ship under construction. Workers moved around it, adding components that glowed with strange energy. The predecessors discovered this principle but never fully developed it. They were too tied to their traditional thinking. Park's eyes met Kim's. Humans had no traditions in space. We looked at their technology with fresh eyes and created something they never imagined, Kim finished. Exactly. Your empire spread across the stars, conquering and assimilating. Each new species added to your knowledge, but always within your existing framework. You built higher and higher on the same foundation. While you built on a different foundation entirely, Kim said, understanding dawning. Park nodded. We didn't know what was impossible, so we tried everything. Kim stood and walked to the viewport. Outside, stars glittered against the blackness. Somewhere out there, Earth orbited its yellow sun, filled with humans who saw the universe differently than anyone else. The Sovereign Council will want your technology, Kim said quietly. We know. They can't have it. Kim turned. They will not accept that answer. Then they will learn what happens when they push humans too far. Park's voice remained calm, but Kim felt a chill. We've prepared for this moment for generations, Admiral. We built weapons we hope never to use. Is that a threat? A simple fact. We want peace. We want trade. We want cultural exchange. But if the Empire tries to take what isn't freely given, Park let the sentence hang unfinished. Kim returned to his seat. What do you propose? An alliance. Equal partners. Your empire has much we could learn, and perhaps we have insights that might benefit you. For hours they talked, sketching the outline of a new relationship between humanity and the Empire. As they finished, Kim had one last question. The ship that crashed on your moon, do you know why it came to your system? Park smiled. The predecessors left a message in the database. It said, these beings ask questions we never thought to ask. Watch them. Learn from them. Fear them. The attack came without warning. The Void Collective, mysterious entities from the Galactic Rim, struck simultaneously at human outposts and hegemony worlds. Commander Todd watched in horror as reports flooded in. 5 Imperial fleets destroyed. 3 core worlds under siege. The Collective's black ships absorbed energy weapons like sponges and moved through solid matter as if it were mist. We need help, Admiral Kim admitted, swallowing his pride as he opened communications with Earth. The response was immediate. A single human vessel appeared at the coordinates of the worst fighting. Not the Defiance *, but something larger. The HSS Prometheus *. Todd watched the battle telemetry with disbelief. The human ship didn't just fight. It warped reality around itself. Space folded where it passed. Collective vessels imploded or were shunted into what appeared to be parallel dimensions. What are we witnessing? Ta whispered. Dimensional physics beyond our comprehension, replied Science Officer Lee. They aren't just traveling through space. They're manipulating its properties. As the battle turned, Kim faced a stark choice. Embrace alliance with these terrifying humans or face annihilation from the Collective. The command center of Imperial Defense Station 9 buzzed with frantic activity. The air tasted of fear. Commander Ta had never seen Imperial officers so shaken. The holographic displays showed a tide of black ships flowing through Imperial defenses like water through a broken dam. The 7th Fleet is gone, reported Lieutenant Han, her voice trembling. The void ships just passed through them, like they weren't even there. Tay's mandibles clicked rapidly as he processed this information, and the planetary shields on Corvus Prime failed completely. The void ships simply ignored them. Admiral Kim entered the command center, his scales a dull gray from exhaustion. 3 days without rest had taken their toll. He moved directly to the main strategic display. Status report. Not good, sir, Tay replied. The Collective has taken 7 systems in the past 12 hours. Their advance is accelerating. Kim studied the display silently. The black markers representing void collective forces formed a wave moving inexorably toward the Imperial core worlds. "Our weapons are useless against them," Science Officer Lee added. "They exist partially in another dimension. Our energy weapons pass through them without effect." Kim straightened his posture. "I've spoken with the Sovereign Council. They have authorized me to request human assistance." A murmur passed through the command center. Imperial pride ran deep. To ask for help from a species they had planned to conquer just months ago. "Sir, are you certain?" Tai asked quietly. "I am certain we will all die if we don't," Kim replied simply. He turned to Communications Officer Du. "Open a secure channel to Earth Command." The large screen at the front of the command center flickered to life. Captain Park's face appeared, looking grim but composed. "Admiral Kim, we've been monitoring the situation. The Empire formally requests Earth's assistance," Kim said, the words clearly difficult for him. "The Void Collective threatens all civilized space. We know. Our outposts in the Sirius system were hit first." Park's expression softened slightly. "Help is already on the way, Admiral." The screen split to show a tactical feed. A single massive ship appeared at the edge of the Corvus system, where the heaviest fighting raged. It was unlike other human vessels they had seen, where the Defiance had been sleek and fast. This ship, the Prometheus was enormous and radiated power. One ship, Ta couldn't help exclaiming, against hundreds. "Watch," Park said simply. The Prometheus moved toward the center of the Void Fleet. The black ships immediately changed course to intercept it, sensing a threat. As they approached, the human vessel began to glow with intense blue-white light. "What is it doing?" Lee whispered. On the tactical display, space itself seemed to bend around the Prometheus. The nearest void ships began to distort, stretching and twisting as if caught in some invisible force. Then, one by one, they vanished, not destroyed, but simply gone. The Prometheus is creating localized dimensional rifts, Park explained. The void ships exist partially in another dimension. We're simply completing the journey for them. The command center fell silent as they watched the impossible unfold. The Prometheus moved through the Void Fleet like a predator among prey. Where it passed, enemy ships disappeared or collapsed in on themselves. "This is just the beginning," Park continued. "We have 12 more ships like the Prometheus preparing to launch. We can halt the collective's advance, but to truly defeat them, we'll need to work together." Kim looked at his officers, then back at Park. "Tell us what you need." "Full data sharing, joint command structure, and access to the ancient archives on your homeworld." Ta gasped. The archives were the Empire's most closely guarded secret. "Why the archives?" Kim asked, his voice carefully neutral. "Because the Void Collective has been here before," Park replied. "The predecessors fought them once. We need to know how." Kim nodded slowly. "Agreed. To all conditions." As the meeting continued, Tai watched the tactical display with mixed feelings of awe and fear. The Prometheus continued its impossible battle, reshaping reality itself as a weapon. Humans shouldn't have ships like that, he thought. But thank the stars they do. 1 year later, Commander Ta stood on the observation deck of Orbital Station 7, watching human ships dock alongside Imperial vessels. The Alliance had held, and the Void Collective had been driven back to the rim. "Still uncomfortable?" asked Admiral Kim, joining him at the viewport. "They changed everything," Tai replied. "Not just the war. Everything." It was true. Human technological principles had revolutionized Imperial society. What had begun as military necessity had transformed into cultural exchange. The hegemony, once conquerors, had become partners in a new galactic order. "Captain Park tells me they're bringing their newest vessel next month for joint exercises," Kim said. Apparently, it can generate its own pocket universe for storage. Tay's mandibles clicked in amusement. The merchant guilds are already complaining about what that will do to shipping prices. As they spoke, a human vessel glided past the station, sleek, impossible, and beautiful in its defiance of conventional physics. A group of Imperial cadets watched it pass, their voices hushed with awe and lingering fear. "Humans shouldn't have ships like that," one whispered. "Perhaps," said Kim, "but thank the void that they do." The observation deck gleamed in the light of the nearby sun. Through the massive viewport, ships of all kinds moved in carefully coordinated patterns. Imperial cruisers with their angular, aggressive designs flew alongside the smooth, flowing shapes of human vessels. It was a sight no one would have imagined possible just 1 year ago. Tai watched a small group of Imperial cadets studying the human ship that had just docked. The young officers touched their data tablets with all four hands, trying to understand the principles that made such vessels possible. "The Academy has added human physics to the required curriculum," Kim noted, following Ta's gaze. "The waiting list for those classes is 3 years long." "And how many understand what they're learning?" Tai asked. Kim's scales rippled, and what humans had learned was laughter. "Very few, but they try." A tall human in the dark blue uniform of Earth Fleet approached them. Captain Sewell nodded respectfully to both Imperial officers. "Admiral Kim, Commander Ta, I hope I'm not interrupting." "Not at all," Kim replied. "We were just discussing the changes of the past year." Sewell smiled. "Quite dramatic changes. My grandfather would never have believed it. He spent his career hiding our ships from Imperial probes." "You were watching us that long?" Tai asked, surprised. "Of course. Your empire was expanding toward Earth. We needed to be prepared." Sewell gestured toward the viewport. "But I prefer this outcome to the alternatives." Outside, a new ship appeared. Unlike the others, this one did not emerge from hyperspace in the traditional flash of light. Instead, reality seemed to part like a curtain, and the vessel simply was there. It was small by Imperial standards, but radiated power in a way Ta had learned to recognize. The hull gleamed with a material that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously. "The HSS Horizon *, Sewell explained. "Our newest research vessel." "Research?" Todd questioned. "It looks more powerful than the Prometheus *. In some ways, it is. The Prometheus * was designed for combat. The Horizon * is designed to explore dimensions beyond the first 12. Kim's inner eyelids blinked rapidly. "Your scientists believe there are more." "We know there are. The question is whether they can sustain life forms we would recognize." Sewell said this casually, as if discussing the weather. A small alarm chimed on Sewell's wrist device. "Excuse me. The Joint Command meeting is starting soon." After the human left, Tai and Kim stood in silence, watching the Horizon * dock at the station. "Do they scare you, Ta?" Kim asked quietly. Tai considered the question carefully. "Yes," he admitted. "They advance so quickly. In the time it takes us to understand one of their discoveries. They've made 10 more. And yet they show no interest in conquest. No desire for revenge against the empire that planned to subjugate them. That might be the most frightening thing about them," Ta said. "They don't think like we do." Kim nodded. "The Sovereign Council debates this endlessly. Some fear the humans will eventually decide the galaxy would be better off without the empire." "And what do you think?" "I think we are fortunate." Kim gestured to a group of humans and Imperials working together to unload cargo from a docked ship. They could have destroyed us when the Void Collective was defeated. Instead, they offered partnership. The station's artificial day cycle began to shift toward evening, the lights dimming slightly. More ships arrived, trade vessels from a dozen worlds bringing goods to the station that had become the center of a new galactic alliance. "The Empire feared change for 10,000 cycles," Kim said thoughtfully. "Now change comes whether we fear it or not." A young Imperial cadet approached them nervously. Admiral Kim. The human Captain Park has asked if you will join him for the demonstration of the new dimensional anchors. Kim nodded. Tell him we'll be there shortly. As the cadet hurried away, Ta looked once more at the impossible ships outside the viewport. Humans shouldn't have ships like that, he said softly, echoing the phrase that had become common throughout the Empire. Kim placed a hand on his subordinate's shoulder. Perhaps, but in this new galaxy, we may need to learn to build them too. The end.